We got Ronald Chapman with us, federal defense attorney. Ron, I did want to ask you about this battle over deciding what are official acts. I guess that's going to be left up to a lower courts to decide, but it comes down to that. But it's also an interpretation that has many interpretations, right?
Well, certainly. I think, though, Justice Roberts went a lot further, and I was surprised by this than I would have ordinarily expected. I thought he would stop short and not address what would be official versus unofficial. But he went even further, and he started to analyze those 5 acts that are alleged against Donald Trump in the indictment. And in each of those, he discussed whether or not, well, I should say the majority discussed whether or not those were official or unofficial acts. And without going through all 5 right now, I can tell you that after looking at this opinion, there is not much left of Jack Smith's indictment. Much of the conduct alleged in it, talking to the vice president, engaging with the Department of Justice, those are official acts, and those will be considered official acts. We'll see what Judge Chutkan decides to do, but she is bound up a bit by the words of the majority here.
You know, Ron, isn't a president going to think of either party that, you know, Richard Nixon's argument that if I do it, if the president does it, it's not a crime. I'm simplifying it. Wouldn't that embolden others, regardless of party, to take that stance?
Well, Chief Justice Roberts talks about this specifically, and this was widely discussed at oral argument. We have a lot of safeguards against the abuse of presidential power like that. I mean, first we have elections, right? You get voted out of office. But we also have the power of impeachment. Now, the court didn't agree that Trump should be immune because he wasn't successfully impeached and convicted. But the reality is that a president can be removed for engaging in those sorts of actions, and other wrongdoers could certainly be criminally prosecuted related to it. But the reality is we haven't had a long history of presidents being accused of committing crimes requiring prosecution.
Right.
And there really isn't much support for the idea that that will continue. The American people will make good decisions about who should be in the office of the president. And if somebody does wrong, there are safeguards to prevent that sort of conduct. You know, I think Justice Roberts also mentioned, maybe it was Alito, that certainly SEAL Team 6 is not required to abide by an order that requires them to help a coup or assassinate a political opponent. Good people in the United States will certainly not engage in criminal activity just because a president orders it.
Sometimes they have in the past, though, right? And Ron as well, your legal expertise, very much valued.